should know I watched a comedy last night and I had a lot of laughter. I don't know why the government repeatedly thinks it's a threat for me to have peace, happiness, and laughter, but it's been a repeated pattern. I promise you, if I'm too happy, there's repeated schemes to wipe the smile off my face, knowing you never believe the story. So I would like to have privacy and be able to laugh in my own environment alone, but I can't. I can, but there's consequences. This madness, and then the experience of whatever was happening at that pantry situation, and the madness that I experienced coming back from it. So while I'm waiting on Victim Connect, I want when they do commit crimes and hold up the upload, and I go do something, and I'll go do something to buy time for an hour or two. Then I'll come back and it'll be like frozen on the same thing. That's the mind concept. They want me to sit in waiting. So I'm going to pause it. It just came on its own. It's been doing this multiple times. The video's playing right here to interrupt me talking. Two devices were playing at the same time. So nonetheless, so that's what they do. They want me to wait the full time, so they'll pause it, and then I'll come back, and like I never left. And that's what's happening with this right here. The situation with my son. Let me show you.
Please hold while we connect you to a victim assistance specialist.
They don't want you to see it. And then we got this on this device. 2 different carriers for all these years. This is federal charges that repeatedly are ignored in front of the police department and the providers. This happens in emergencies too. So what's happening to someone's controlling my phone and malice, and it's deliberate, is just the point of proving it. So it's 66 minutes. It should be 5 minutes. It said an hour ago, and now it's at 66 minutes. It's more time than it was when I need to calm down. It's more time than it was over an hour ago.
Please hold.
And then this is still going on for like an hour or so. And I can't restart my phone. So I just can't use it. Sometimes they just got mad and formatted my phone, or the situation with the brand new AT&T phone. I don't know what they did, but I can never use the phone again. And the police were there waiting on me at AT&T when I got there. They gave me a criminal trespass, told me to leave. So I went to the location off Lake June. That's recorded. I didn't have an opportunity to record the other one, situation. They told me they scanned that there was nothing they can do. I couldn't get my service at the location on Buckner. So then they had me go to another location on Buckner by White Rock Lake. And the police came to interrupt the conspirators from leaving me in the situation where I couldn't use my phone. And in the crisis situation, threatened my arrest, intimidated me, and bullied me for wanting phone service. I had got the third criminal trespass that day for reporting crimes that were repeatedly committed with my phone. I had to go to another provider. I never did get the paying the phone bill 2 times that month. I never got the phone service.
Hello, thank you for calling Victim Connect Resource Center. You want to see the police to talk at the moment?
Yeah, yes, I assume so. I don't know, that echo comes, it does that a lot. That's why I'm calling.
That's okay. Thank you for establishing safety. I do also have to let you know that the line is anonymous confidential, so you do not have to provide any personal identifying information. How can I assist you?
Yes, do you have operator ID?
I do not, I'm sorry. But my name is Faith.
Okay, and what are you with?
I am with the Victim Connect Resource Center.
Okay, do you have a direct extension or anything if I need to get back with you?
I do not, but if we get disconnected and you need to call me back again, you can always ask for Faith.
Faith?
Faith, yes.
Okay. Yes, I have what all do you do there exactly? Can you go in detail so I can know what resources could possibly benefit me?
Yeah, no problem. So we offer and provide resources within your local state or area and regarding to the crime that you're experiencing. So unfortunately, we don't provide a direct service, but we do try our best to provide you with a resource that is accommodable to your state or local area and regarding to the situation that would provide that direct service to you.
Okay. It's like I'm just trying to see if these locations are actually reading scripts because I don't know. Are you a domestic violence organization or you help with witness protection? I have no clue what your organization
Mhm.
does. I saw it online, so I don't know what you cater to. All crisis situations, or is there a particular area that you specialize in? I don't know what you do, and you still haven't given me any indicator. Are you a domestic violence organization for government witnesses? What do you do?
So no, we are a resource center for all types of crimes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
my domestic violence crisis. My abuser's hacking my phone, and I'm in a domestic violence
Mhm.
crisis, and he's able to stalk, hunt me down using the power the government allows him to abuse over them.
Mhm.
So he uses control over the government and law enforcement to enforce crimes, and he allows the government uses their power to enlist people in my environment to be conspired with harassment, thefts, other criminal activity, stalking, psychological abuse, other torment, and mind games. So I've had assaults. I've been ran off roads, and I have people constantly coming by, well, starting arguments and playing mind games. In addition to all the nightmare I've been, the police department repeatedly puts cases on me, hacks my devices, and controls me. Even at church, they'll show up to make sure that no one helps me all over the place, and they don't. So in my living environments, not only do they monitor me and make sure that I don't gain relationships, they make sure the relationships start to become toxic, and they want my friends to not only not be my friends, but then be enlisted to be accomplices to mind games and psychological abuse for the torment. When I go online to different websites to try to meet new people, I can't. It's controlled and manipulated. So where I'm meeting controlled people that start arguments, knowing that people wouldn't believe my situation, but it's been happening years. So I'm forced into isolation, enforced by the government. And then I don't get most of
Mhm.
my calls. I've been making calls years. I don't get my calls. I don't get my mail. And those are felonies. And yet nothing's been done. I had identity theft. So I really want to have build a strategy because I've been going through this like 10 years plus, and it just doesn't appear. I've lost hope that someone is going to hold these people accountable. So I just want to be able to go another place, and I would like to strategize just to leave because I've waited and waited and waited, and they just escalate and get more out of control. I just don't see a lot being done. I move and move and move, and all the environments are repeatedly controlled everywhere I move.
Mhm. I definitely understand. I'm very sorry to hear about that. I know that, these types of situations are definitely very difficult, very accountable to what's going on.
Hopefully,
All right?
hopefully, yeah. The typically when I get responses like that, it just really isn't done because hopefully we'll see. I'm not quite certain. Why would you feel hopefully? You're not confident in your job description and your task.
No, of course we are. But, we also try to accommodate, to the best of what we know. Unfortunately, we don't, what I mean by that is also kind of we don't work directly with these organizations. So we can just go off base of, what services they
You're
kind of
not
offer.
confident in your
And,
referrals. You're not confident in because I've noticed that for 10 years I haven't been able to get anywhere, and those hopefully and maybe and is possibly were well warranted.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of why no one has confidence in their referrals. Maybe it was prearranged before I got the referrals. That's what I'm trying to prove. So, but I just
Mm,
call to call to call. No one has confidence in their organizations. No one has confidence in the police department. No one has confidence in, people actually giving the services that they're supposed to offer. And they haven't. So let's see how it goes, man.
sure, let's see how it goes. All right. So we can definitely look into, what's available within the state or local area as well, in kind of in regards to um, what services they're offering, or So I have a list of on my database, but of course there's also some additionals out
So
there
for government
that we may
witnesses,
not
that's what I really wanted to
see
concentrate
that
on,
are as well.
being a government witness.
Mhm.
You said that you help with everything? All crimes. Is that
So
correct?
we assist best to our ability of what's available in the state or area.
Is what is the relevancy of your program if you're not confident that you'll be able to assist?
No, we are confident that we're able to assist. It's just that sometimes, some organizations are probably not up to date. Oh, we no longer offer these services. We don't, all of that kind of
So
thing.
you help
So
government
sometimes,
witnesses and other people in crisis situations, and you don't take the time out to see if your referrals are relevant and still can be used. You give people bad referrals, and you don't make sure your system is updated with referrals that people can
ma'am, we
actually
don't
use.
give bad referrals. There's things that just change over time, and sometimes they fail to, they don't notify us. Sometimes things change. Sometimes the
I just
organization
haven't
change
had it for all
numbers.
these years, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it seems like something's amiss. The wording is carefully orchestrated, perhaps, maybe, if, and it really doesn't pan out. And I think that that's curious to verbalize your statement like that and not have confidence in your organizations or other parties you're giving referrals for. I think that's a red flag. But let's go to I'm a government witness, and you've heard my story, and I've been through
Oh,
this an
I'm sorry
extended
you
amount
feel
of
that way,
time.
but yes, we can definitely look into the resources, what's available. All right. Let's see. What state is this all taking place in?
It's in Texas.
Okay. So there is the Attorney General's Office of Victim Services. They do offer a wide variety of services, including victim advocacy, which I usually think is very beneficial because not only often do they, kind of provide some guidance, but they also provide additional information, and they're also kind of able to inform you of your rights and options. Not sure if you've spoken with them previously before.
I'm not sure either. What's the number?
So their number, one second as it's loading. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So their number is going to be 1-800 983 9933.
That's 800-983-9933.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
All right. Apart from that, the other statewide organization is their Texas Victim Services Association Incorporated. They're located within Austin, but they are statewide. And I do have that number pulling up. There we go. I have that number as well.
Okay.
That number is going to be 512 761 7371.
Okay. Let's 1 moment, please. Just 1 moment. Okay, so for an extended amount of time, when I call locations, they don't want me to know about rights and options and different avenues that I could take to protect myself. Call to call everywhere I've called for extended amount of time, 10+ years. It says on the line on your website that you can learn more about your rights, options, confidentiality, and compassionately. You do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have
Yes.
any information on what I can do to protect myself, knowing that I'm a government witness and my rights to law enforcement and what they've done and all these other accomplices?
Oh, okay. So yeah, so kind of being within, that situation, obviously you want to take some civil practice, of course. You're always entitled to kind of your rights and options as well, kind of entitled to, your safety. So let's say within under like Texas law, witnesses are, required to their rights and services regarding from organizations.
It
And
sounds
have
like
them
you're
to
reading,
kind of,
ma'am. And then it sounds like you're really working on your computer and like you're reading something. So I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of why if things seem so scripted and controlled, and like parties are reading and not giving me information from the heart. It seems like it's controlled and biased. So that says
well,
that you're skillfully trained on
ma'am,
how to give
ma'am.
people
So
avenues.
let me explain. So unfortunately, we're not. We're not allowed to provide legal authorization through the phone, so sometimes we can't answer.
I'm wanting to
legal
concentrate
questions.
on your rights. I've had to endure this years, and I'm trying to get down to the bottom of this mysterious behavior and why people man me for their misconduct. It says that you give people information on their rights, and people have strategized years to deprive me of knowledge and information that their website says that they're supposed to offer and that they're trained to offer, but yet I've never received it. And I'm trying to get down to the bottom of why I've had to endure this years. So, other than you mamming me, I'd like to discuss what it says that you're trying to offer, rights and other things.
Right, because you have legal rights and protections as a victim or as a survivor, or just kind of getting any basic information. But I do have to let you know, we unfortunately don't offer direct service, as we are just.
I don't want to. We're deflecting, and I've had to do this a long time. I would like to concentrate because conspiracy to violate rights is a felony. To hack someone's device and keep them from speaking to authentic people that have their best interests at heart is criminal and is sadistic. You just one part is just the point of proving it. Repeatedly keeps happening. So I've called hundreds of places that have been conspiring with cover up and depriving me of information, not doing their job tasks or descriptions. So is there a particular reason I did communicate with you that it says that you're supposed to have a job description and you man me to deflect on the fact that you weren't doing that? You gave me referrals, and I've called referrals hundreds of places, and they all play the same game that you just did. I just have to prove that it repeatedly keeps happening. Why would people all over this country slander, lie, and slander the company and other companies and deprive me of information that they're supposed to give me on these lines repeatedly over and over? So can we concentrate on, you gave me referrals to call somewhere else, but I'm on the line with you right now. What can you do? What resources and information can you give me regarding my experience of being a government witness?
Well, like I said, these kind of regulations obviously differentiate within each state and local area. We are a national hotline, but we're not based in Texas. So at that most, what I could tell you as a government witness, I mean, you're so much being protected.
Okay, let me go ahead and call the other numbers, ma'am, and see what clever way they have to not give me information. It's just fruitless, ma'am. Okay, thank you. I was on hold 15 minutes just to get these numbers, and they'll do the same thing. And I forgot, we didn't even get to me fleeing, for my life and going somewhere underground. We didn't get to that part. This is the number. That's what they always want me to do. Crime victims compensation is not something that can help me with a serious situation. They compensate people for crimes that were committed.
Getting these all worked out, I'd suggest maybe try calling back in about 45 minutes to an hour, and hopefully the issue should be resolved by then. Thank you for calling.
I guess they have some kind of technical glitch calling.
Compensation program. Our business hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties resulting in some delays in answering. While we work on getting these all worked out, I'd suggest maybe try calling back in about 45 minutes to an hour, and hopefully the issue should be resolved by then.
That way they have a scam on how they're going to deprive me of assistance.
Compensation program. Our business hours are
making these calls. Police department, knock, 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 from nowhere, knock, knock. The police, PD. No one is putting us under control. PD, open up. It's in several bit videos. Just show up. I'm calling, reporting them, trying to flee them. Knock, knock, open up. The police. The hotel don't want you here. The hotel, tell them right now. You're looking at it. Tell them you don't want her here. I need you to tell her you don't want her here. Yeah, we don't want you here. Someone with a badge and gun telling them to tell her right now that you don't want her here. And they do it.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please
We got
leave
another
a message after the tone.
More insanity. These are the numbers I was told to call. It's not on accident. The tricky part is just proving it's not.
Victoria Police Department.
Is Crystal in?
I'm sorry?
Is Crystal in?
No, she's not working today.
People have blatantly lied to me multiple different times about people that I was trying to get in contact with when it came to fleeing abuse for years.
Okay, who are you needing to speak with?
Crystal, the victim's advocate.
Oh, she's in a totally different building. Hold on, I'll transfer you.
Okay. It's still going on.
Record your message at the tone. When you are
This
finished,
is not an
hang
accident.
up or
Trust
press
me.
pound for more options.
Hello, this is Kiana Clark. I spoke with you a while back about getting some services, and there's been a pattern of domestic violence advocates and victim coordinators being furious with me, and I didn't know them. So, nonetheless, you were very upset that I wanted to flee my abusive situation. You told me that you sent me an email and I wanted to hang up, and I never got the email. So I would like to work it out. I can't put my finger on why so many parties are furious with me for trying to flee abuse, but I've endured the whole abusive situation. Can you please contact me back?
Thank you for calling the family place. How can I help you?
Yes, may I have your name?
I'm sorry?
May I have your name?
Why do you need my name?
Because I just want to know who I'm talking to. Is that a problem?
Okay. Andrea?
Okay. Yes, I'd like information. I'm in a domestic violence crisis that has involved the police department, and it's been virtually impossible for me to get anything resolved. What typically they do is they list all locations who deprive me of assistance. They've been illegally monitoring me, and I like to get some assistance. In fact, you guys are aware because I was at one of your properties and a car sped up like it was going to hit me, and the police department came and told me to go to the Bridge Homeless Shelter, and I couldn't get in it. So you were firsthand witnessed it, and then I reported that there were issues with your computer, and they didn't want me to call the police to report it. It looked like your computer system was hacked when I lived on your property, and it's happened at multiple different other environments. And I said that, if someone's hacking your computer, that puts the other party staying here at risk. And they said, no, don't call the police. We'll figure it out. I said, well, this repeatedly keeps happening. I think that we need to. They said that we didn't need to, that someone had hacked your computers. Nonetheless, I experienced strange things there. A woman terrorized me staying there who also terrorized me when I was in Richardson, at a mental hospital in Richardson. So I've noticed in a lot of environments I see familiar faces. And she also terrorized me at the hospital too.
Hi, ma'am. I do understand that, but I apologize, but I will not be able to assist you with this.
Isn't that a crime if you don't? I thought conspiracy to violate rights was a crime. I thought that you couldn't.
Can I get your first and last name?
It's Kiana Clark. I thought that for you to conspire to violate my rights and keep me from fleeing abuse was not a choice that you had in this country. I thought that for parties you couldn't discriminate against me for profit or for whatever reason you're doing it repeatedly over and over, that was supposed to be consequences.
Okay, ma'am. Well, I do apologize. I will not be able to assist you.
Is there a particular reason why you're denying me of assistance and discriminating against me again?
No, ma'am. Nobody is not denying you any assistance.
You are. If you won't be able to help me, that is absolutely denying assistance, and doing that in conspiracy is a criminal. It's a felony. So I want to address why you're committing a crime. I'd like to go over your head and see why you're risking your livelihood to deprive me of assistance here and there. No
Family place, how can I help?
I think we were disconnected because I know you wouldn't hang up on anyone fleeing abuse that you guys witnessed. That would make sense.
May I have your first and last name? You reached a different operator.
Okay, sure I did. My name is Kiana Clark. And I told the operator the police came when I was trying to flee abuse. A car sped up like it was going to hit me, and you guys have camera footage of it. And when they were supposed to be
Okay.
pulling the camera footage, the police department came and removed me and told me to go to the bridge
Okay.
homeless shelter.
When did this occur, ma'am?
It was a while back, but I would like to concentrate on getting services and, why they let the police remove me after something
Okay,
serious like that happened.
Okay, so we would need to know, when did that incident occur?
I just want to start from today fresh. It was an extended time ago. I'd like to start from today fresh.
Okay, I got you. Did you have a recent incident of domestic violence?
Yes, the same. And I'm still going through the same problems, and the police department repeatedly does the same thing, come interrupt me from fleeing the abuse that they're enlisted in.
Okay, so when was the recent incident?
Right now, today, my phone is being hacked, and I got harassed in an environment.
And who's hacking your phone?
Yeah, I can't use I have to have multiple different devices, and I can't afford to have so many devices, but I have to.
So who's hacking your phone?
The abuser that I was there reporting.
Okay, and when did the last time that this particular abuser hacked your phone?
He's hacking it right now. I can't use one phone.
Okay, did you call your phone company?
I've called my phone company multiple times. They can repeatedly cover for it. They've left me trapped in it. But I would like to concentrate on services fleeing them.
Okay, I'm redirecting you back. Have you decided to change that phone number or block it or change phone companies?
I've changed it multiple different times. I would like to concentrate on fleeing.
Okay, so if this happened a while ago, and have you had any physical contact with this abuser?
The phone is currently hacked now, and I can't use it. What was your name?
Okay, I'm asking
What's your name? What's your name?
Did you have physical
You don't. Are you angry, ma'am? Because I've established. I don't know why so many people are angry with me for trying to flee abuse. It says on this line that you're supposed to be compassionate and not intimidate someone.
No, ma'am. Did you have physical contact with your abuser right now? Have you seen him right now in person? Has he approached you right now?
Only my abuser, not the people that harass me. We can't use that. What did they tell you? Let's see. First off, let's just see what they told you.
Stop. Now, if you have not had physical contact with your direct abuser, we are unable to assist because we help with those who are actively fleeing physical violence situations.
Yes, I'm telling you that I had just got harassed.
Okay, so did he harass you in person?
No, he sends other parties to do it. He don't do it himself. He doesn't get his hands dirty.
Who are the other parties?
People in my environments have harassed me multiple different times, and then my phone is hacked. But I would like to concentrate on the service. Hold on.
Let me ask you this: how do you know they are connected with him?
Because
have they approached you physically?
Because they have the same MO. They do things that I know that he instructs people to do. They play mind games, they torment, and then they slander me and do weird things. Okay. But I would like to concentrate on the services. No. I don't know why I can't communicate why I called. This is not going anywhere, ma'am. I like to concentrate on the services that you offer.
Hi, this is the family place. How can I help you?
Well, you have a lot of operators. I'm glad. Are you trying to hide on the crisis line the services that you offer? I'm not quite certain on why so many crisis lines are furious with women fleeing abuse, or perhaps it's just me.
Yes, ma'am. We are an emergency shelter. We provide shelter services to people fleeing immediate danger from abuse. Okay,
that's all you do is provide shelter?
We also have counseling, case management through our non-residential services program.
Okay, and how do you get on the non-residential service program, and what all does that consist of? Do you help with protection orders and legal?
For protection orders and legal, I actually would recommend there's a couple of programs. There's the...
You don't want me to know if you have your own in-house legal?
So we don't really have legal services as part of our non-residential programs. We can provide referrals to legal services.
So it has changed. I just want to make sure it has changed because you did have the legal that I never got, and they scammed to keep me from legal. So now the situation is it has to be residential, which I can't be a resident since the police came and interrupted it. So now to exclude me from services, you got to be a resident to get services, even though you have another avenue to get services. What do you call it when you're not a resident? What kind of services are those?
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. I'm not sure what you're saying.
When you're not a resident, When you're not a resident, what do you call
So
it?
that would be non-residential.
Okay, well, we'll just call it non-residential. So non-residential services were offered, legal was offered, and other services. Now it has changed to,
So,
they
ma'am,
said,
how can I help you? What is it that
I'm
what
not
are you
quite
looking
certain if you have a crisis line and you don't want the party to know, call to call for all these years on the services that you offer, what is the relevancy? Because it seems more like there are strategies on how to keep someone from getting services. But you'd have to prove that repeatedly keeps happening. So I'm not
I'm
quite
not
certain
really
on why
sure
you're
what
furious with me and you don't want to answer the simple question of what are the services, call to call, location to location, year after year. It's impossible for me to get the services if you refuse to tell me what they are. If the police department isn't coming, removing me, pushing, shoving, arresting me for trying to get services.
So like I said, we have shelter services and we have
I did ask you for the non-residential
case
services,
management.
and you keep saying about shelter. I am asking you about the non-residential services.
Okay, so with our non-residential department, we have case management, counseling, and referrals to services like legal aid.
So you no
Referral to
longer have the legal that you offer there. Now you have to go through
No,
legal
we
aid.
don't have legal aid and housing services. We used to have in house. We used to have those services in house, but we no longer do due to funding. We refer out
That's what
for
they've
those
said years, all locations, and a lot of them have blatantly lied. I'm just trying to prove it. So the case management, do they help with protection orders?
I'm not completely certain. I believe they would
On the
just refer
crisis
you out.
line, you don't know if someone, you guys help with someone getting a protection order on the crisis line? Because none of them do.
So they would help you. What I'm not completely sure of is if they would help you by referring you to.
Well, can you find out, since this is a crisis line and people are fighting for their life, and I think a major key of fighting for their life is to get protection against their abuser? So is there someone you can talk to figure out if you help?
If you need a protective order, then I can recommend that you would.
I'm not being heard. I would like your organization to check and see if you guys help with protection orders and not information on referring them, outsourcing them somewhere else. I want to know if your location that I'm currently on the line with helps with protection orders.
So, okay. One moment, ma'am.
I have to get a strategy on how to give me the information on it, because it's not going to happen. It's controlled before I place the call. The tricky part is proving it.
Okay, so ma'am, with our non-residential services, they would just be directing you to the county court for wherever the incident occurred in order to get a protective order.
Okay.
So
So
case manager will be able to guide you to who to reach out to, but
okay, so when you don't live on property, you can't get legal with your organization. They can't help you with a protection order, and you can't get housing when you're not a resident. Is that correct?
we don't have a housing program at all, regardless of whether or not somebody's a resident.
Okay, you used to. They had apartments, and the police department came to interrupt, and then a lot of people were caught in lies about the apartment.
We did used to have a housing program, but we lost funding for that and no longer do. So, what services can I help you with, ma'am?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of what services you have. So that's what I'm trying. So the residency, you no longer have the legal. You no longer have the housing, and then people can't get their story straight on your own apartments. Or do you do referrals and give someone else information on how to get an apartment through a domestic violence agency? No one has seen it in 10 years, period.
I'm sorry, can you restate that as a question? I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, have you ever seen, I assume that you're probably full, like you've been for 10 years? So, do you have any referrals to an apartment complex that someone can get to flee abuse? I've heard of them. I've never seen them.
So there's a transitional housing program for people who are fleeing abuse. It's called Emily's Place.
Never heard of it. Okay, then can I have the number?
Sure, it's 972-424-7775.
Okay, and so we have the housing, and you no longer have your apartments that you used to have, and the police removed me before I could get. You discontinued your apartments?
Yes, ma'am. We no longer have apartments or a housing program.
So your domestic violence organization, do you think that that's fruitful? for you to be a whole big family violence, family place, domestic violence organization, and you discontinued housing? Don't
It
you
would
think
certainly
that's
be better
critical?
if we had housing. However, we unfortunately lost the funding.
Well,
and
here's the
that's
thing: the two number one reasons a woman stays in abuse is because she doesn't have a support system or housing. That's critical for you to offer housing options.
Unfortunately, we don't have the funding for that program. It's not
That
possible
doesn't
for
really
us to.
sound. I don't know. These calls are really mysterious, ma'am, and I'm just trying to prove it.
Okay,
So I'm sorry, ma'am. Were you in a rush for something?
yes, actually, this is an emergency crisis hotline. I would love to provide you resources that can help you if there's any.
Right, but it's difficult for me to find the resources if you're
Looking
making it
for-
difficult, and then people have to repeatedly exit during me getting services.
I'm gonna have to disconnect the call unless there's something specific.
I can't get, if you are refusing to tell me the services and we're having a hard time, being productive. I don't know, ma'am. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the services, and people keep on having to exit during me getting services all over the place. Yeah, go. They get infuriated. It will be knock knock for me trying to flee abuse. They take it serious. These scammers get out of control. Now, why would scammers in my environments be so furious for me fleeing abuse if the abuser wasn't controlling? Does that make sense? This is the time now, 1:52, and this is the conversation with my son that my devices repeatedly keep covering for. And this device I can't use. And like I said, it's not a joke. Sometimes I had to go to other providers, and I just got sick of changing. Can you imagine what kind of a lawsuit that would be if I could get legal representation for AT&T, knowing that I was fleeing a domestic abuse crisis and not giving me the service I paid for, and then charging me 2 times in 1 month in malice for services I couldn't get? Yes, Wendy never called me back regarding the reviewing the camera footage of the thefts I had there. But I would like to concentrate. Can someone give me direction on going to an organization that don't mind helping me? I informed you guys that you would be the first organization that ever in history that would have given me services and weren't biased, and you actually deprived me of services anyway. So are you willing to give me a location that possibly wouldn't be biased, since it's never happened in all my time trying to flee abuse?
Here in Victoria?
I know I communicated with you guys over and over and over again, as well as you. You were aware of that parties wouldn't even give me some things out of the hygiene closet. You had to go give me the product. And it was that petty. You're aware of things, food coming up missing. My phone came up missing. I wanted to address that with Wendy. And other petty things, rings and sunglasses. So nonetheless, I didn't get.
Have you tried calling the main office?
You had me call the main office. They won't call me back, but I'm saying what I wanted to address, because no one cares on your reasoning. I think the reason why you guys are probably denying services is probably has something to do with that police officer that demanded to speak to Jill for 20 minutes. But nonetheless, so can you refer me to a location that will possibly give me information? Nobody will tell me about the name change. Another party wouldn't really tell me about the housing, what happened with the apartment. They said they had 2 apartments available, then they disappeared, and I had to find my own housing.
I don't know, in agency here.
It can be anywhere, like outskirts. So when you are full and there's no one else, what referrals? In fact, there's other parties that you help get other placement in.
Oh yeah. Is there anyone in particular that you like?
No, I'm new to the area. You're aware of that. Just any organization that will give me information that's not biased. My legal advocate wouldn't give me any legal knowledge. She didn't even want me to go get a protection order. She wouldn't tell me. She didn't advise me to go to the district attorney and play games, and then told Wendy I was recording her when I wasn't, and then another party did it. So I'm not quite certain what benefit you guys would be if I have people blatantly lying on me there, and then several thefts.
I can certainly give you one of them in Austin if that's what you wanted. I can give you the shelter in Austin.
Did someone tell you that? Because the shelter in Austin wouldn't help me, and I called the police on the shelter in Austin. Is that the closest one to this area? Is that Austin closer than Houston?
No, well, there's Austin.
I'm just wanting to know because I'm new to the area. Is Austin closer than Houston?
They're about the same distance.
Okay.
2.5 hours.
Because a lot of people recommended places that are compromised.
The
closest one to us would probably be in Seguin, but they're a small shelter. But I can certainly give you that one.
I just
if you want.
anyone that's willing to help a woman flee abuse. I got death threats, and I'm not quite certain on why so many parties don't
Let
have
me
any
give
stock in
you.
my life. Yeah,
Let me
that's what
give
you
you the
guys were
one.
doing when
And
I was reporting it in person. That's what the police department did. Because I can't communicate the death threats because people are distracted and deflecting. My son did it. So I think
right.
it's serious, but people haven't been concerned about my life, even at domestic violence organizations. To the degree of the one I
Let
communicated
me.
with you that let me get assaulted and arrested, this is serious. But on the crisis line, when I'm telling you I'm assaulted, arrested, getting death threats, and I can't tell you on the crisis line, and that is a crisis indeed. If someone's threatening to take my life and I can't communicate it on the crisis line, I don't need to be in this country. So,
Right.
nonetheless,
What I can
another
do.
crisis situation that I was in at another domestic violence organization, which I communicated with you, I was assaulted and arrested, and the organization staff sat there and witnessed police assault me and haul me off and take me to jail for trying to attend a domestic violence support group. They don't have to do it now because now at your support group, we're coloring, drawing, and doing crafts. So, they don't need to take me to jail.
Let me give you the one in Guadalupe County, which would be the closest to Victoria, if that's what you
I
wanted.
don't know
Would
why
that be
you're no
okay?
party's concerned about people, misconduct your organization. That may be why it continues.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly give you that one and any other one that you want in the state of Texas. I can give you any of them that you want. Just give us the name and I can look it up to see if they have a shelter. But I can give you the one in Seguin,
I'm
and that's
trying
the
to find
closest
my
one to us.
pen. Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So I'm
Do you
getting placement.
do you have
I'm just want to make sure I'm understanding. You want to talk while I'm getting. Do I have what?
do you want me to give you this county, Guadalupe County,
Yeah, that's what
which
I
is a
called to
shelter?
get. I told you I'm new to the area, and you want me to give you the information. Then you'll give me the number. That's kind of defeating the purpose. If I have the information already, I would need to call you. This is the advocacy I didn't get there. If I'm calling you asking for direction of places that you can locate me, give me information on places that I can go to get assistance that you guys didn't give me, and you're demanding that I have knowledge of the location, it's a mind game. I'm not getting the
No, what I'm
assistance because I'm wanting placement. I want you to give me the information because I'm new to the area, and you're asking
yeah,
me
and that's
to
what I'm
give you the
trying to
name of the
give you.
location.
That's what I'm trying to give you right now. I can certainly give you the number. I can give you the crisis hotline number to Guadalupe County. Do you have a pencil that you can
I,
write
I
this
do.
down with?
I do.
Okay, it's a crisis line, and the number is 800-834-2033, and that's in Guadalupe County.
Okay, and as for the other parties that got placement in other locations, you're unwilling to do that for me because I'm asking for
I
other
can,
avenues.
yeah, I can give you. Well, that's what I said. You name me a county, and I'll give
You
you
didn't
a
do that
number.
for the other parties. That's not what I'm requesting because I'm new to the area. You found other parties, other locations to go. You didn't demand that they find their own location. This is how I've been treated. You didn't demand for them to find their own location to conspire to keep them from getting services that you give others low key. You're not doing advocacy, and if you're demanding that I have the location, prearranging that I have the location before I call, I'm not getting the service. And this is how I've been
Well,
treated years. This is a
and
catch
this is what I'm
22.
trying to give you now. For what you're asking me now is what I'm trying to give you.
You gave me one
Uh,
location to Guadalupe, and I'm asking for multiple different locations like you gave other
Then
women.
let me give you another one. Let me give you Bexar County, that's in San Antonio, and let me give you the number.
Okay.
210-446-6464, and that's Bexar County in San Antonio. And then I can give you Bryan, Texas, if that's what you want. College Station. Either one of those would be okay for you.
Yeah, I'll get the same thing, but I just got to establish
Okay.
a paper trail of how I'm being treated. Okay, go ahead.
Let me give you Bryan, and it's also a domestic violence program, and it's a crisis hotline. It's 979-775-5355.
Okay, well, let's call and see how they're going to scheme to deprive me of services. Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Hopefully those will help you out. If not, you can always call me back. Like I said, I have a directory with all the shelters in.
Well, you could help me out by making sure that they provide the services there to me. That would be a help if you guys were really authentically trying to abide by the law. You wouldn't deprive me of services. So that's not really helping me if you're referring me to someone else and scheming to keep me from the services you offer. If you legitimately wanted to have my best interest at heart, you'd ensure that the parties weren't scheming to keep me from services from there.
Well, and then I cannot guarantee what services they have to offer or what they have available.
I'm not, this is how my life is, and that's why I don't want to be here. Friendships do it, and family. The bottom line is that you offer services there that I didn't get. And if you authentically wanted to help me, you would find out why these people were depriving me of assistance, and you'd find out why Wendy hasn't called me back about this theft. They're stealing from someone, that's criminal. So I don't know why she would protect in so many other environments for people stealing from me. Like I said, that was a crisis situation when they took that phone because I needed to record the corruption with the courts. And this has happened repeatedly and over at multiple different locations. They knew a pinpoint. They took my tablet, the sober living environment I was forced to live in when I started recording my calls.
So what you're asking me for right now is just other phone numbers that could possibly help you.
I'm asking you for you guys to be a domestic violence organization and not exclude me from the assistance that you give other parties. I'm asking for you guys not to cover for me getting death threats and letting crooked police control you and not cover for theft and people taking food. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking for you to be authentically a domestic violence organization and not accomplices to abuse. It's criminal and not ethical. So that's what I'm asking. Is that too much to ask for the organization to have integrity and not commit crimes?
That's why I was referring you to that. If I'm giving you what you're asking me. Now I only have.
I'm just reminding you that if you authentically really wanted to help, you get down to the bottom of why people committed crimes there. You're aware that someone was so petty, she didn't even want me having anything out the hygiene closet. Certain things she wanted to control what I got out the hygiene closet. And you had to go help give me the item because she said she didn't feel comfortable giving it to me. I just didn't understand why I'm repeatedly treated like a child, and even things out the hygiene closet was heavily controlled. That don't make me feel good that you're letting my abuser control you, location to location. It's criminal and it's also sadistic and not right for me to experience it.
Okay. Well, I feel like at this time that I gave you, at this time, what you were asking me for, you were asking for.
Well, yeah, this is what I get. We can't concentrate on why people committed crimes there. I get it. It hasn't happened at any environment. We have to concentrate on me going somewhere else to get treated the same way. I get it.
Well, all I can say is try these places and see if maybe they might have some of the answers that you're looking for. And if not, call me back and I can give you more numbers. I'd be more than happy to give you more.
Right, but we're deflected on the crimes that were being committed there and why you guys are the local place, but they're depriving me of assistance there. So, like everywhere else I've been at, we're still not concentrating on that.
I'm saying that maybe you can mention to them and they can give you some feedback.
So you want me to go to another place to figure out why you guys won't give me services there?
I don't know about services.
I just wish people didn't have to play mind games with me everywhere I'm at. I just wish that people can be authentic, but it just can't be done. It's a twilight zone. But it is what it is, and you've been doing it several months, so I don't perceive that you'll change until people get charges. Okay, ma'am, let's see what scam these other locations have to go. Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
This is when they just get tired, just don't give her services. Just don't let her come to the church. Just don't talk to her. Just ignore her. That's how we handle that. You disrespect her, then blame her for it. That's how we handle that situation. She's done nothing wrong. How I'm going to start argument? Lie to start the argument. That's how we'll get it done. Blatantly lie on her. Say she did something. I haven't seen her in 5 years. How am I going to start argument? Lie. Since she say she did it 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Just get it done. Whatever you got to do, just blatantly lie. Nobody will believe it anyway.
How may I help you?
Yes, I'd like to know exactly what you do there. I'm trying to flee a domestic violence crisis, and all the locations I've ever been to had integrity issues. And I just wanted to make sure, number one, that you wouldn't let my abuser control you at a domestic violence organization. That's not really safe or fair to me.
Okay, are you looking for shelter?
My question, may I have your name?
Faith?
Faith? I got another Faith? Wow, that's amazing. Faith means faith is something really personal. I call myself Faith Queen Eagle, and I've gotten two faiths today.
Oh,
Yeah. So nonetheless, I would like to concentrate before we go into details. If you're going to let my abuser control you,
okay. Give me just one moment, ma'am.
okay, they can't guarantee that.
Crisis Center, this is Daniel.
Yes, they couldn't confirm that they wouldn't let my abuser that's sending me death threats control him, and they forwarded
Sorry?
me. I asked the representative that domestic violence organizations had a tendency to let my abuser control them, and I asked them up front if they would let my psycho abuser that's sending me death threats control them, and they couldn't answer me that question, so they forwarded me over to you. I just want to know if you could be compromised and let my abuser control the organization.
And I didn't catch your name. Who am I speaking with?
I just hope you wouldn't let anyone, the abuser, control the organization. But my name's Kiana Clark.
Kiana
I
Clark?
probably need to start giving aliases. Maybe that's why I can't get services. That's how I got into Salvation Army, using another name. But yeah, so you need to know my name before you'll give me the knowledge on if you'll let an abuser control you.
If we let the abusers control our organization,
Yes.
no, we should be having zero contact with anybody's abusers or anyone who assaulted them.
Okay, well, good. So yes, I'd like to get assistance. Like as I've communicated, most domestic violence organizations did let my abuser control him and deprive me of assistance. He set up multiple different false arrests, enlisted people in harassment, and currently now he hacks my devices and puts me on punishment repeatedly over and over for my own devices. When I was in crisis situations, I couldn't use my device. It shut off. It formatted. My providers would let my phone stay off. Some were so crooked where they wouldn't even give me the services I paid for.
Okay.
I've been arrested at church and assaulted for churches I tried to attend. I'm an avid churchgoer, so the government has interrupted my ability to have fellowship at church because they're part of the domestic violence, and they want me ostracized and isolated, so they illegally monitor me. I've seen the police department and sheriffs at churches. They've been at hospital stays I've been at, bus stops, restaurants, and then they've been there in malice. Yeah, I've been in multiple different organizations. The police department showed up with me on camera footage and enlisted the organization to deprive me of assistance. Multiple different locations, jurisdictions rather.
Okay.
So I call all these domestic violence organizations, and they won't give me any feedback on how to, flee abuse they're enlisted in. All of them, every last one has covered for my abuser and the government.
Okay. And how are we able to assist you? What is your goal from us?
I'm sorry. What is your name?
My name is Daniel.
And I'm sorry, I have several different numbers. And what organization did I call?
This is Thriving Hearts Crisis Center.
Okay. I don't know what you offer. You've heard my dilemma. Advocacy for years, parties want me to, even the police department, that's a red flag. They all want me to tell them what I want from them. Typically, when you're calling the organizations, typically the organizations will tell you what they can offer. That's typically how it goes.
Yeah, I can explain that to you. Some people just know what they want already, and then just trying to have that conversation to see what we can narrow it down to. And we're an emergency shelter. Most shelters provide.
What can you offer me to flee abuse? You heard the more serious things on combating abuse that the government's enlisted in, getting death threats, all organizations being in cahoots. What can I do to get a remedy from experiencing this?
Sorry, remedy from what?
Experiencing the corruption, the abuse, the domestic violence crisis. How can I? What services can you give me to help combat that? Abuse. Combat abuse or flee abuse.
From who?
My abuser, I think he enlisted government officials into his abuse.
So you believe he's using government entities to assist him in abusing you?
Right.
Okay, so with that, I mean, directly myself and what the organization can do, I mean, it's not, we can't get involved with any like government entities. I mean, other than reporting to, their authorities like law enforcement, filing reports. But we can't do that. We would encourage you to file reports to whoever you think.
Well, it says you're supposed to do accompaniment and advocate and follow up with reports and make sure they're investigating. That's what advocates are supposed to do in legal aids, but legal advocates, but they won't, and they deprive me of assistance that they give others. It's not a first thing for police to be corrupt, so that's why the advocates, they follow up with departments and make sure that they're investigating victims' reports. But none of them will do their job description everywhere I'm at, and I'm just trying to expose that. So typically, especially dealing with domestic violence, the advocate was supposed to be a support system and also follow up and help make sure, get police reports and all kind of other things that I've never seen.
Is there specific?
I'm just not quite certain on how I'm going to get the services if everywhere I'm calling is hiding them all these years.
Okay.
Is there a particular reason why so many places don't want me to know the services that are offered all over the country?
I mean, if you got issues with a particular organization, you would typically ask.
I'm calling this organization. I would like to concentrate on why you are not wanting me to know how you could help me. Do you help with protection orders? What about the accompaniment and then the other things that I addressed with to you about calling and making sure police departments were investigating reports? What about all that? Or what about, if the police department wasn't investigating, strategizing an avenue to hold them accountable for misconduct and criminal activity?
I mean, well, I can't control what past experiences you've had, or I'm sorry you had bad experiences, but the goal is not to neglect your grievances or what you're trying to accomplish and stuff like that.
Is there a particular reason why you're refusing to tell me what you offer there and what you can do with my crisis situation if you do help with protection orders? Or you're redirecting the conversation over to what another organization has done, but I think that you're not understanding that I believe you're doing it currently right now. I'm asking you what you can do there, and I told you about my experiences, and if you had advocates that would help call and follow up with the police department, and do you have a legal aid or legal advocate, or I don't know about your services.
Well, I'd be glad to help, explain that to you, man. I'm just trying to.
Okay, can you? Because I have endured a lot of abuse, years of it. In fact, everywhere I'm calling trying to get services. So if we could, I would really appreciate it greatly because there were so many people that were scamming any way that they could to keep me from knowledge. That if you just told me what services you could offer, yes, I'd greatly appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. So I'll start from the beginning. We offer emergency shelters.
I mean, as far as the accompaniment and the legal aid and all that, yes, I did hear the shelter. The other organization did this too.
Okay, well, let me finish.
I don't need that resource. I would like to be able to communicate. That's not a resource I need. I think that you'd be wasting your time. So if I had rights, I don't want you to give me a resource I don't need. I like to concentrate in the direction of the ones that I need, legal, and then a protection order and things that can combat government officials racking up charges and enlisting armies to rack up charges with them. Something like that, because my abuser is controlling multiple different parties. So can you give me direction on what you can do with that knowledge that could be a better fit for my needs?
So our legal advocate, which is myself, can assist you with applying for protection orders, going through with that. Also, like you mentioned earlier, for companionment or any type of companionment that involves law enforcement, prosecutors, legal wise. Send in referrals to our legal agencies that we use, the TRLA and Texas Advocacy Project. And as far as combating government agencies, not familiar with that avenue, would have to run up the chain of command, see what we can do with that. But normally that kind of stuff would probably more questions like that go along towards like a actual lawyer, probably something civil. Sounds like a civil matter that a lawyer would have to help you with that, which we could get you in contact with more likely with the agencies that we have. But I think if that answers your question.
Okay, so how do I get services? And what about my rights if you know that law enforcement has been in cahoots with my abuser? What can I do to protect myself? What kind of safety plan or what kind of can I? Most parties want me to believe that I'm just simply stuck in it because it's the government doing it. And they just don't really have any confidence that someone will hold government officials accountable for countless felonies. And that's really disappointing to me.
You know, as far as that, I wouldn't be honest with you. I mean, I would have to confer with other people to see what we could do about that. And if it did occur with us, like if you're client with us and it's ongoing, we would notify different departments. Obviously, maybe like a prosecutor's office. I doubt every.
I think there's a disconnect. I mean, just in general, as for your assistance, I'm asking if you could help me with the government trapping me and enlisting multiple different accomplices to deprive me of services to flee abuse that they're enlisted in. I'm asking you for that help because that's a part of my domestic abuse crisis.
Asking for what again?
Help to flee my abuser, enlist all my environments to conspire with abuse and leave me in his abuse and not give me the services that they offer others. And I would like your assistance to combat that because I can't move forward. There's a lot of government programs using Texas workforce, sabotage their programs, even SNAP benefits to sabotage, even petty things to sabotage, even my government phone that's supposed to be free, even that's sabotage. I'm defrauded out of funds. Each opportunity the government gets to defraud me out of funds. I don't get tax returns. I'm supposed to be eligible for Social Security payments. I've been robbed of that and food stamps in one experience, funds in my account. So I don't think that there's I'm just trying to show that how I've been treated all these years to get nowhere. I've called hundreds of places and all of them have scammed to keep me from services. It's really disappointing. But yeah, so if you could, I guess how do I get the services that you're willing to offer?
So just establishing yourself as a client with us, doing an intake takes about 40 minutes to an hour long to answer questions that I have on file, either in person or over the phone.
Okay.
And then from there, we would just send you referrals to our legal agencies. That's really the most I could do as an advocate, is just refer you to the legal agencies that we have, because it seems like we have a very complicated.
So now, so towards getting the services, that your only services that you can do is refer me somewhere else?
No, well, not referring you. Put in so when you come through us.
Yeah, just wanted clarity. Are you going to send it to someone else? Because I thought you said you were the legal advocate. You gave me no direction.
Yes, ma'am, I am the legal advocate, but I am not a lawyer. I cannot act as a lawyer on your behalf.
But you've given me no direction on steps that I can take to protect myself, and you're a legal advocate.
Well, the things that you're asking is to help combat government officials.
My abuser enlisting government officials, and everywhere I'm at uses that as an alibi. There's a lot of men that have been policed, and they're using that as an alibi that he's enlisting the government officials in his abuse. That's their scapegoat for depriving me of assistance.
Okay, and I think you would agree that maybe that's something that would be more than what a legal advocate can provide for you.
No, I think that they're deliberately trying to withhold information.